Welcome to Booty Cracklins, baby. Hey, I'm Coach. That's Red. Hey, look here. Sit down. Get ready. Hey, baby, we finna teach you something right here. Hey, Red, what we talking about today?
Coach, we're going to do our Mount Rushmores of all-time quarterbacks.
So, look, Mount Rushmore, that means how many?
4.
Look, I'm going to tell y'all something. If y'all go back and look at our Facebook page, we put this on our Facebook page, and we did it for the Cowboys. The Cowboys, Mount Rushmore. The first 2 people that answered had like 7 and 8 people on it. What y'all doing?
There's so many of them.
Look, there's only 4 can go on Mount Rushmore.
I know, but there's so many good players that played in the history
that
of the
is
Cowboys.
That is Cowboy mentality. It's Mount Rushmore, but I'm putting 12 on there.
I didn't put 12.
I didn't say you did, but it was some Cowboy fan. I showed it to you if you want to see. Hey, maybe we'll clip this out at the very end of this. Show you that screenshot. But anyhow, Mount Rushmore quarterbacks. All right. So this is our top 4. Red. And look, we have not gone over each other's quarterback. Everything we do is unscripted. These are our top 4 quarterbacks, and we're only going to do 4, and we're going to do it in no particular order. So we're not saying whoever we name first is number 1, 2. These are our top 4. All right. I think I'm gonna knock one out that I think has to be on there, because if Tom Brady, if Tom Brady is not on your Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks, then your list is wrong. Is a farce.
It's wrong.
A joke. I mean, there's no listen, and we can have recency bias. You know, it's kind of like, I don't want to get into basketball, you know, the GOAT conversation of Jordan and LeBron. The honest truth is, if you ain't got both of them on the Mount Rushmore, your list is wrong. You might not like Tom Brady, probably because he smacked your team around quite a bit, and recency bias. I'm going to give you the one stat you need to know that answers that question.
I know what it is for me.
What is it?
When he left New England and still won.
Listen, he went to New England and won a Super Bowl at Tampa Bay. Tell me, how good was Tampa the year before?
Doo-doo.
Look, here's the only stat when someone wants to argue about Tom Brady. Tom Brady has more Super Bowl championships than any NFL team, including the Patriots.
Yes.
Think about that. He won 6 of them with the Patriots, and then said, you know what? Let me put a little whipped topping on top of this dessert, and let me go win one over here.
Yeah, a little cherry.
I'm gonna leave New England with 6, but I'm gonna go get number 7 over here. The fact that one man has more championships. By the way, that one man only played for 2 franchises.
Right. And
he got more NFL championships than any franchise total in history. There's no argument to it. You can like, don't like, whatever you want. Tom Brady is on the Mount Rushmore of NFL quarterbacks. All right, Mr. Red, give me somebody you think you're guaranteed he's definitely on it.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning, I agree. I'm going to tell you why I have Peyton Manning on the all-time list of quarterbacks, of the Mount Rushmore. First of all, the stats show it. He went to 4 Super Bowls. He won 2 of them. He went to 4 Super Bowls and was in the same conference as the man we just talked about. Right. How many would he have gone to
if he was on the NFC side?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, or how about if he didn't play in the Brady era?
Right.
Ask yourself this: how many Super Bowls would Peyton Manning have if he didn't play in the Tom Brady era?
Yeah,
he'd have way more than 2.
He'd have way more than 2.
He'd have way more than 2. So for that alone, again, you know, in one of the last segments, we talked about Josh Allen losing playoff games and it not being his fault. Him and Drew Brees. Listen, Peyton Manning was kind of the same thing back in the day. He was going to get his team there, and year after year after year, Tom Brady just trumped him with the trump card at the very end. Tom Brady beat him. If you play in poker, he beat him on the river every time. By no fault of Peyton Manning's. And I'm going to tell you something else. To me, there's a couple of people in the NBA and the NFL that transformed the game. To me, Peyton Manning transformed the game of football. He's not the first guy that had the aerial assault.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did was completely different than what everyone else was doing at the time.
See, to me, he is one of the first ones to mentally beat you.
Absolutely. Listen. We can look at his 17-inch forehead, that 5 head he got, but that's full of brain.
You say I got a big head.
That's full of no. He got his is all forehead though. Yours is everywhere. Yours is everywhere. His is all brain.
My head's proportionate to the rest of my body.
I agree with that. I'm not going to argue that. But anyhow, so we both have Tom Brady and Peyton Manning on the Mount Rushmore. Again, don't come at us and talk about who's 1, 2. We're not talking about 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. We just talking about top 4. Even though I think everybody got to have Brady at number 1. That can be argued. To argue that he's not on the Mount Rushmore, if I can talk, is Couillon.
Right.
It's Couillon. So we both agree that Brady and Manning are on the Mount Rushmore. Who else you got up on that Mount Rushmore?
John Denver Elway.
So I'm gonna tell you, I kicked Elway back and forth on my. I'm gonna tell you, I have him at 5 or 6.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you who I have on there instead of him. And like I said, Elway was kind of my number 5. They were 4 and 5 to me, and I'm gonna tell you why I went with Patrick Mahomes over John Elway on my Mount Rushmore. And I know a lot of you go, kind of like Tom Brady, because there's a recency hate. Everybody likes to hate the Chiefs. I get that. Listen, y'all want to know what team everybody hates in any sport?
The good ones.
The
ones that win.
The good ones. Everybody, they cheating. Whoever's winning, whoever is smacking everybody else around, the losers always want to say they're cheating. Yeah. Say whatever you want. The reason I chose him over Elway is because they've been to the same number of Super Bowls. He has 1 more win. And he still has half his career to go.
Okay. So the reason why I have him on there is because he did it in the 80s and the 90s.
So Elway kind of had 2 different careers.
Right.
He had a career when he first came out. He was, wow, look at this. They went to 3 Super Bowls in just a couple of years. All right.
Didn't win any of them.
Didn't win them. All right. Then he comes back his last 2 years in the NFL, comes in, wins 2 Super Bowls, does his helicopter spin.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl, rides off into the sunset, and becomes Mr. Denver Bronco. Yeah. Realistically. All right. I'm not arguing with you over that. You have him at 4. I don't have him on Mount Rushmore. I have Patrick Mahomes because of that 1 extra Super Bowl win. Okay. But I can see the argument. Let's put it that way. That's one I'm willing to concede. All right. Now, number 4, well, not necessarily number 4, but the fourth place, the 4th quarterback on the Mount Rushmore of NFL quarterbacks, according to Red, is
Dan Marino.
I can't disagree more. Dan Marino was a passer, a gunslinger. Dan Marino went to and lost one Super Bowl. To me, that right there takes him out of the equation. That takes him out of top 4. Because ultimately, I mean, whether you're talking about football, especially quarterbacks, basketball, whatever, at some point, success has to equate for something. And the fact that he does not even have 1 Super Bowl ring, to me, tells me he can't be on there.
To me, he was the first quarterback that let's air it out.
I mean, he pretty much played in the Joe Montana era, didn't he?
But Joe Montana, they were the West Coast, let's dink it down.
I don't think they were dinking it down. There was a lot of slants and slots and all that. Yeah. It wasn't dink.
Marino wasn't throwing a bunch of slants.
Oh, listen, I agree. He had Mark Super Duper, and he had the Mark and Mark show. Yeah. Marky Mark show, Mark Duper, Mark Clayton. listen, they were good. Listen, guys, come on now. We're splitting hairs at this
Frog
point.
hair.
We're splitting hairs on the elite of the elitist.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. So obviously, to separate only 4, we have to find kinks in the armor of the other guys.
Yeah.
And the kink in Marino's armor, to me, is his lack of Super Bowl success. And look, honestly, I don't even know if I wouldn't argue somebody like Jim Kelly was better than Marino because he had the same passing style, same type of game, but he went to way more Super Bowls. So, and ultimately, to me, quarterbacks get judged on Super Bowls, playoff success. So for me, my Mount Rushmore would include Joe Montana. Listen, the man won 4 Super Bowls in as you just said, a West Coast offense, which was one of the first ones around slinging it like he was. Like I said with Peyton Manning, I think Joe Montana, years prior, transformed football. To me, he may not have been the first one slinging it around, but he was the first one slinging it around at that rate and having that success.
See, I would have had him probably 5 or 6 or something like that. He'd be in the next group for me.
You know, we've had this argument over a couple of programs now, and 4 Super Bowls. There's 4 Super Bowls for Montana is different than 4 Super Bowls for Bradshaw. Because the 49ers were winning because of Montana. The Steelers were winning mostly because of that defense. I know I'm not knocking Bradshaw. Bradshaw's a good quarterback. 4 Super Bowls. He's in that top tier.
I think the Steelers won the first 2. Now, this way before my time.
Forget about the steel curtain. Come on.
No. Their first 2.
It's not way before my time. I can tell you.
The first 2 was all about their defense.
I mean, the Cowboys Super Bowls were kind of way before your time, wasn't it?
No. Not the last 3.
You were a wee little guy back then.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't this.
When was that? The first of the 3 was 92?
Mm-hmm.
How old were you in 92?
Old enough to see it.
You wasn't old enough to work the remote. Matter of fact, I bet y'all didn't even have a remote.
No, we had the pliers.
There you go. You had the pliers on there and you turned the channel. That's how long ago it been. But, yeah, listen. So Mount Rushmore, we agree on Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
Yep.
You have
John
Elway, and
Dan
Marino. Whereas I have Patrick Mahomes and I have Joe Montana. So I'm going to be honest with you. I did not have Marino even in my top 6 because of his lack of playoff success and Super Bowl.
I'm not mad at you for that. I definitely understand where you're coming from.
We're splitting hairs on this. To me, if we're just going to go on pure passing numbers, then Drew Brees has to be way above Dan Marino.
See, I would think
and he won a Super Bowl.
So I would put Drew Brees above. He would be in that next group with Montana.
Listen, I'm going to tell y'all guys, there is nobody you've ever met that wants to put Drew Brees on the Mount Rushmore more than me. But if I'm going to sit here, I don't think Drew Brees, of no fault of his own, because of the success or lack of success he ultimately had to getting the Super Bowls and winning Super Bowls. Peyton Manning went to 4 Super Bowls, won 2. Mahomes been to 5, won 3. Montana went to 4, won 4. Brady went to 29. Seemed like it.
So what knocks
and won 7. Those stats, you can't deny them.
What knocks Montana down from a step down for me is because of Young. If Young wouldn't have been able to come in and win another Super Bowl, to me that's more courtesy of the team.
I get that argument. I get that.
To me, if you put Dan Marino on those San Francisco teams, how many Super Bowls do they win?
Not going to be more than 5, like San Francisco won. It ain't going to be more than 5. That means they would have beat the Cowboys a couple times.
The Cowboys weren't in any Super Bowls in the 80s.
In the 90s.
So I think they would have been way better
I disagree with that. 5 Super Bowls. It's hard for me to sit. It's hard for me to accept you telling me that somebody who only went to 1 is going to come over and now win more than 5. That's a big jump. That's a Grand Canyon jump. I understand Marino could throw it, but listen, I had this argument with the Jalen Hurts. There's more to being a quarterback than just passing. Part of it is team leader. Part of it is running. Part of it is getting your team in the right position. And as much as, listen, if we're just talking about staying here and having a passing competition to hit targets and throw it as hard as you can, Marino's probably on there. Take everything into consideration for a quarterback, and I don't think Marino's on there. I do understand your argument about Steve Young coming in and winning a Super Bowl. 4 is still 4 to me.
All right.
So anyhow, that is your NFL quarterback Mount Rushmore. Hey, that's Red. I'm Coach. Hey, look at here. You know you liked what you heard. Hey, and if you didn't like it, too bad.
Comment yours on the bottom.
That's right. Let us know what you think. We ain't scared. Tell us what you think. But anyhow, no matter what you think, join us next time on the next Who That Cracklin', baby.